Hello everyone, welcome to Red Snapper. My name's MJ and this is Snap or Pass, where we're looking at Silver Sable. She is a 1/1, on reveal, steal 2 power from the top card of your opponent's deck. In this video we're going to be looking at the Spotlight week that she's in. We're going to be looking at all of the interesting mechanics related to her. We're going to give you some cool deck ideas, and ultimately we're going to say, is she... I say we, it's only me here, there's nothing else here. It's and I'm ultimately going to be answering the question, is she a snap or pass? You can use the chapters below if you want to skip to a specific section. But before we delve into the video, we are on the road to 2,099 subscribers. Please subscribe. You are not going to want to miss the epic video we've got for the 2,099 special and all of these awesome upcoming videos. So subscribe please, thank you. Anyway, let's talk about Silver Sable herself and the Spotlight week that she is in. She is a Series 5 card, of course, and she's alongside Mockingbird, who's also Series 5, and US Agent, who's also Series 5. So in terms of overall value, 3 Series 5 cards. This is a decent week. Not only that, Mockingbird is literally one of the very best cards in the game, and US Agent is very, very good. He received a significant buff shortly after he came out, and he's now really good and can really lock down a location and cause problems for your opponent. So yeah, this week is really, really good. So this week is absolutely crazy. You honestly won't find a better Spotlight week to open cashes in. So I would highly recommend it. Anyway, let's talk about Silver Sable and everything that she can do in her mechanics and stuff and whatnot. So, right, she is the highest power, non-conditional 1-cost card with no downside. I know there's like a lot of little addendums in that sentence, but basically, she's sort of the best 1-cost card in the game. That's sort of what I'm saying. So she comes down as a 1/3, but she's stealing 2 power from the top card of your opponent's deck. So especially if you're playing her at the start of the game or in the first couple of turns, it's more and more likely that they will have to play will have wanted to have played that card that you steal the power from. So she's like a 1/3 or the equivalent of a 1/5 in power, which is it's absolutely nuts. And like I say, she's got no downside. Like, even if you play her on the final turn of the game, like, you're not hindered by that. Yes, of course, you don't get the benefit of stealing 2 power from their card because they're not going to play that afflicted card. You still gain the power, but you're not going to have that. But it's still not a downside. So she's just fantastic, and she's got this similarity to Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova steals 1 power from every card in their deck, but she will often cause the opponent to consider if they can actually afford to play that card that she's afflicted. So listen, let me talk about the scenario of Cassandra Nova's just been played against you. Do you draw those cards and go, oh, I can't really play that now because it's been afflicted with -1 power? I don't really think that. I mean, yeah, it might have crossed my mind a few times where I'm like, oh, I can't really play that. I'll play something else because the power on that is too low at this stage in the game. But Silver Sable is really going to make them think about some of their choices. Like, especially, you know, it gets towards the end of the game and they've got that afflicted card there, which maybe was one of their powerful options. They might be weighing it up, doing the maths, doing the calculations, and they might be like, oh, I can't quite hit that power now. With this card being afflicted by -2, I can't quite hit that power, and so they have to go a different route. So she has this extra element to her, not only just being, you know, a 1/3 is just obviously good. The fact that you're afflicting their card can be so powerful, and it's going to be that annoying style of 1-cost card joining the ranks of Spider-Ham and Iceman that is just going to feel dutty to play against. But let's talk about some of the other pros of this card. So as I said, she's devastating in the early game. She pumps out good power and she limits their response. Because she does steal that power and they're afflicted, they're going to have less options to be able to catch up with that above average power that you've put out. She's going to be very good in bounce decks. Now, I've seen everyone say, no, sorry, that's not quite true. I haven't seen everyone say, but I've seen lots of people say, she's a bounce card. She's a bounce card. Oh, she's only good in bounce. Grow up. Sling your hook. Get out of here. She's going to be incredible in anything. She's like a really good plug and play card. She's highly versatile. She fits well in most decks. So, yeah, I don't take the narrative of she's only a bounce card. She is going to be tremendous in bounce, don't get me wrong. Being able to bounce her like two or three times with Toxin, with Beast, with Falcon is going to feel absolutely outrageous. In fact, I don't know if you can even do that. Play her on turn 1, bounce her on 2. Yeah, no, you can, because you can play her on 3 and bounce her on 3. Oh, she's going to be so good in bounce. But she's going to be highly versatile and good in any deck. And she's got great, vast, broad location synergy. Look at some of these locations I've got on the screen here. Cloning Bats. Are you kidding me? She's going to feel outrageous. Luke's Bar. Keep pinging their face. Carmartage is nuts. Some of the cons. I really had to sort of scrape the barrel for the cons here, guys. Yes, she's fragile to Killmonger. And the meta-dominant Electra. Those cards are going to be able to kill her very easily. There's multiple ways to deal with what she does. So you can reset her power with Shadow King. The thing is, guys, Silver Sable is a 1-cost card. If they're having to play their Shadow King to reset her power, you've sort of already, you've already won in that sense. And but of course, there's ways to deal with her affliction as well. Like Luke Cage, again, Shadow King can reset the Afflicted card. They might do this cheeky little play where they play their Afflicted card on the Silver Sable location, and then when they play Shadow King, they actually have a 4-power swing, which is pretty interesting. Or they play Luke Cage or whatever. That's it. I mean, I put a joke on as some people prefer the old artwork to the new artwork because there was like the artwork was updated in the most recent leak patch thing. Anyway, good, right. So counters. Electra, we've already spoken about meta-dominant Electra. Killmonger, these cards can kill her obviously very easily. You might want to play Kyra or Armor. Luke Cage means that affliction is not going to get afflicted, and then of course Cosmo can stop her if you're against a bounce deck, and Shadow King can reset. Now the thing is, guys, we sort of spoke about this with some recent cards as well, is yes, you can deal with one side of it, but because Silver Sable does a few different things, she gains power herself and she steals power. Like, if they are countering Silver Sable, they're typically only doing one side of it. And if they are countering both sides of it, how much energy are they spending to counter it? Like, what? You're going to Shadow King 1 and Luke Cage another. You just spent 5 energy to counter the 1-cost card that you've played. So, I don't know, guys. Anyway, let's move on to key synergies and decks. So, other key synergies, I sort of mentioned it a minute ago, but like the annoying 1-cost cards, Iceman, Spider Pig. I just called him Spider Pig. I just called him Spider Pig and then froze. I froze in idiocy. Spider Pig. Spider Ham. Yeah, these really annoying cards. Definitely going to feel nice in a bounce deck. I've got Beast here. Do not sleep on Grandmaster. Grandmaster's going to be absolutely nuts with Silver Sable. If you could do that on a 1-2 turn of the game, she becomes a 1-5 and you've knocked their cards for 4. They're going to be looking at the cards in their hand and they're going to be like, what the hell am I going to do now? We've also got more duplicating effects. So Absorbing Man's going to be able to copy her. Yeah, sure, you might have stronger things in your deck that you can copy than Silver Sable, but it's still possible. Falcon, of course, is more bounce. A Toxin I would add to this list when he comes out. And Moon Girl, don't sleep on Moon Girl. Being able to copy things like Rocket Raccoon, Silver Sable, and then play them all out on turn 5, or however you do it, in like a bounce deck or a hit monkey deck, that sort of thing, gonna feel really good. But let's look at these specific decks. The first one I've got is I've called Aggro Bounce, but I think there's so many different styles of bounce deck you could do here. I think you'd be have at it basically, but this is my little version that I've whipped up. So, our 1-cost cards and the stuff that you really want to bounce includes America Chavez, Silver Sable, Rocket Raccoon. Those are really your key bounce targets. Also probably White Widow as well, and Sage. Those are your cards that you want to bounce. You've also got cards in here that benefit with bounce, making space. So you've got Werewolf, lots of on-reveals as well. We've got multiple ways to bounce cards with Falcon and Beast. Like I said, soon you're going to be able to add Toxin to that list. I have put Kyra in here because you really don't want to have your Silver Sable killed. Now, the thing is, with a bounce deck, you don't really always need Kyra because Killmonger often can't reach them because you've flipped them all back into your hand and you haven't got priority on the final turn of the game. So there's that. It's a consideration. You may want to swap out Kyera, but just mentioning it anyway. And yeah, the rest of this deck is just pretty self-explanatory. You just go gung-ho towards the final turn. Like, you bounce stuff back with Beast on turn 5, and then on turn 6 you can literally do like Sage, Hit Monkey, and like 3 1-cost cards, and that's just going to be absolutely nutty. Right, next up I've got a deck called Nuke Their Deck. This is like an Affliction style deck, but like a kind of a new style Affliction style deck. We have got, of course, Silver Sable. In fact, she's our only 1-cost card in the deck. We have got Beast, because there's other cards that we want to, bounce back to our hand as well. Like things like Scorpion you might want to bounce, but actually more likely Cassandra Nova would be a good bounce target. Red Guardian would be a good bounce target. We've got Wong in here in case we want to do spicy things like that Silver Sable. Like, don't sleep on playing Wong and then playing some cheap on-reveal stuff like like let's just say you've played out your Hawkeye and you've played the basic arrow, and then you play Wong on top of the basic arrow. You can then do Silver Sable and Grandmaster, ping both of those to the middle, and you get this extra benefit from playing the basic arrow. So there's cool stuff you could do like that. You can Spider-Woman, you've got Ajax in here as well, and of course you've got Rogue in case they do have their spicy little Luke Cage. They've snapped on you, they think they're going to win, and you can get rid of that Luke Cage and do something spicy like your Cassandra Nova or your bounced Red Guardian, whatever it may be. A bit copy maybe, not my favourite deck here. I think honestly my favourite deck here is what I've called Sable's Goat Show, because this is just a collection of what I think are some of the best cards in the game. Like basically going through each cost, what are some of the best cards? Nebula and Silver Sable, going to be a really nice combination of 2 very strong cards. We've got Hawkeye in here because we've got Athena, and whilst we're generally going to want to curve out nicely in this deck with some of our higher costed cards like Vision and Ultron, we also have quite a lot of 3-cost cards, so the arrows are going to help us to balance out and play 2 cards each turn because we've got Athena here. Agent Coulson's going to give some options for, again, working well alongside the arrows with your 4 and 5-cost cards. You may want to play a 4-cost card and an arrow on turn 5, or a 5-cost card and an arrow on turn 6. We've got Mockingbird in here because we have got the arrows, and we've got Coulson as well. And we've just got some really good high value, high power output 3-cost cards like Sage, which we've already spoken about, Copycat and Cassandra Nova. So this is just a collection of truly fantastic and strong and powerful cards. And sometimes that's all it takes to have a good deck. But I actually just think this deck looks really cool. And yeah, Silver Sable, I could have put any deck here, guys, because as I said earlier, I think Silver Sable fits into any deck. I truly believe she's one of the best cards in the game. Is she a snap or pass? Of course she's a snap. I've given her 6 stars. That's the highest rating. That is the highest rating that I give. What do you think of Silver Sable? Let me know in the comments below. Like I say, guys, I'm getting her. I think I'm scheduled to, I do like a spotlight planner image and I write in everything I'm doing. I think this week, yeah, I'm opening keys this week because I also need US Agent. So I'm really excited to get my hand on US Agent as well. But Silver Sable, she's basically going to be going in every deck I play, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of Silver Sable in the comments below and I'll see you next time. Cheers. I don't know what that ending was.